As it's the end of the year and I have watched over 40 new releases over the course of this calendar year, making a 40 plus movie ranking would have been a lot of effort, especially with all the other videos I have around this time. And also, on the size of my channel, I don't think anyone would want to watch a video which is nearly an hour long, so I've just narrowed it down. Today I have my top 5 best 2020 movies of the year, ranking them in order, starting from, well, number 5 working down to the top movie of the year. And yes, it's been a year deprived of new releases, so there have been a lot of streamed movies on this list, Netflix originals, etc. So who knows, maybe some of them will be on here, but without further ado, let's get into the ranking. Coming in at 5th place, we have The Invisible Man. This is one of the earliest releases, and I think one of the only movies which many people would have seen in cinema on this list from before all this virus stuff started to happen. And in doing so, Leigh Whannell gives us perhaps the best horror movie by far of the year. If there's any better ones, let me know in the comments. It brings a lot of scares and it has this sense that someone's already watching us, and as we know, they are, but we don't know that until quite a bit into the movie, and Elizabeth Moss does a great job of showing that and also showing the stress that she's undergoing of constantly being watched. But then on the other hand, you can also see why people think she's insane and want to put her into like a mental facility. I just love the way how it looks from both point of views, both very believable, you understand. The Invisible Man himself, it's a more modern twist on it, which I think actually looks better than just drinking a potion and going invisible, and it just feels very refreshing compared to another Universal monster movie remake called The Mummy, you may have heard of. Just full of scares, full of tension and mystery, and with some great twists, and you have a really surprisingly good horror movie, which is my 5th best of the year. Coming in at 4th place, we have Onward. I believe this is Pixar's most overlooked movie in recent years. It came out right before this pandemic struck. In fact, it may have come out just as it started, I don't remember. But I really enjoyed this. It was a big surprise. Obviously Pixar make a lot of good movies, but I enjoyed this a lot more than I thought I would. Yes, Chris Pratt and Tom Holland make some great lead characters in terms of voice casting, but I just found some of the stuff quite relatable, and it really grabbed my attention with some of the emotion. Right at the beginning, Tom Holland's character, he suffers with trying to fit in and make new friends, which I can relate to and could relate to back a few years ago, so that felt really realistic and I could resonate with it a lot. And just in general, the whole story with his dad and his brother, all that kind of stuff was very well done. They did it in a way which felt quite realistic, even though it's in this fantasy world. It felt really human, you could say, and it's not just shoved down the same template where there's always a happy ending. Also, the whole world was very creative with all these creatures, all these places. It was a very fun movie, very underrated, I'd say, and it's number 4th for me. Coming in at 3rd place is Seoul, another Pixar movie which I just filmed my actual review for literally 5 minutes ago before filming this, so if you're interested in seeing that, I'll leave a little card up in the corner for you. And as I said in that, the delays for this movie, it obviously only came out on the other day on Christmas Day, but I think the delays helped it a lot. It's a good quality movie which we were deprived of this year, and it kind of just made this end of the year feel a lot better and more hopeful for the future, that we're going to see a lot more of these good movies. The animation here is absolutely stunning. The story is once again interesting and unique. The characters, they did their job and had some great emotion throughout it as well. Everyone had a dream job when they were younger, and as they've grown older, they have come to realise that that might not be as easy to obtain. So just that whole message of whether you succeed in life, didn't get to where you wanted to, or haven't got there yet, just know that you have a purpose and that you should appreciate life. All of that was a good message, but with this message of also death, it may not be as enjoyable for the younger audiences where Pixar's movies are normally aimed at. So that's the one concern here. Other than that, just everything here was really well done. Coming in at second place is The Devil All the Time. Just like Onward, I think this is another underrated movie, but then again, I can also understand why not everybody loves it. And that is because it's a very, very dark movie, which is filled with dark stuff and also very depressing stuff. I don't want to sound creepy or weird, but I tend to enjoy watching stuff like that in movies. It really leaves a mark on me in the good way, as in it affects me in terms of the movie, not as in anything I can relate to. The cast here was superb, and with that obviously came great performances from Tom Holland, Robert Pattinson, Bill Skarsgård, just to name a few. I'm not normally a fan of narration in movies, but here it's done by the author of this book actually. It felt very necessary and was a good way to show us what these characters were thinking, and just for some backstory and some things without having to force things in. So I quite enjoyed that. The stuff here was just so intense, so dark. As I mentioned, I can see why not everyone liked it or was put off from watching this. But for the people that don't mind seeing these kind of things, I think it was a very enjoyable watch. Like, my friend asked me to recommend him a movie, and I said this, but because of the people he was with, I changed my mind and said just save that for another time, and then I watched it with him. But yeah, just filled with great performances, a really intriguing story, and obviously those shocking moments which grab your attention. And I think we have my favourite Netflix movie of the year. But coming in at first place is Tenet, a movie which I didn't think would be this split on enjoyment. I thought it was a mind-blowing movie. Obviously the visuals, all these fight scenes moving in reverse while some are moving forward. Yes, the audio was off from the start and things were complex, but I thought it all made sense. Maybe just because I was paying extra attention to it because I'd been waiting many months to see this, that I got it straight away. But a lot of people who have seen it that I know are really confused with it. The effects were outstanding, as I mentioned, with everything moving in reverse, and the attention to detail with every Nolan movie was phenomenal once more. I thought everything added up with all these complex elements. Maybe that's why it's so split down the middle, but for me, this was my favourite movie of 2020. So those were my top 5 movies of 2020. As I mentioned, there's too many to rank. But if you're interested in seeing what rating I gave for each of those movies and trying to determine how much of a quality gap there was between each movie, I'll leave my score and ranking once again up on screen now. In the coming days, I will have a part 2 to this where I'll cover the top 5 worst movies of 2020. For now, if you're interested in seeing my actual whole list, I'll leave a link to my Letterboxd account where I have that list, and it also has my ratings for each movie underneath it, so make sure to check that out. I'll leave a link in the description. But anyways, thank you for watching. Please let me know what your top 5 movies of the year would be, and I hope to see you in part 2 of this video.